What to do, what to do, what to do. It's your boy Daru. Thank you for tuning in to another episode, live episode on Therapy Hub from me to you. We are here to transform the mind and heal the soul and to give people an answer to things, to answer the unseen, also to discuss the things that men don't want to discuss, to talk about the things that we don't want to talk about. And not even just men, but a whole broader community. So I thank you so much for tuning in. And if you can, please, please, please like, subscribe, and comment throughout this segment if you can, because it's going to be a good one. We got some good topics to talk about. And hopefully, we can get our guest on the show today. We have a guest. He goes by the name of MC Heavy. And MC Heavy is just going to discuss and talk about a few things regarding his music career and also some other things that he's going through. And as well, he might be featured on the documentary on Man's Cry. So, hopefully we can get some clips for that during our segment today. But anyhow, in the meantime, we're going to talk about a few things. One of our topics that I want to talk about is very, very compelling and it's very interesting because this is something that's been going on for quite a bit of time. It's been, people have um, been commenting a lot about um, this situation over social media and as well as just around around and in the community. But the topic that I want to bring up is about the N word and us using the N word, and not even just us using the N word, but other people using the N word and the difference between the ER ending and the GA ending. Okay, so I'm not here to justify or to tell anybody the difference of the meaning. I'm here just to explain to people why there's a little bit of confusion when it comes to the word. Now, the ER word comes from slavery. That was a term that was used by slave masters, and it was also kind of abbreviated from the term Negro, but it was a more of an ignorant or more of a I wouldn't say ignorant. It was more of um, a submissive way of calling one of your slaves, and that was kind of like how they recognized you as a slave master. So when especially primarily when white people or people from other any actually just not just white people but anybody from any type of race, when they say that word, it becomes very agitated to some people. It becomes very um some people are very bothered by it, and quite frankly it causes a lot of problems. People end up getting hurt, unfortunately. So and that's just because there is, and also I believe on our end, I think we do have to kind of understand the knowledge behind it and realize that even using the GA word, I used to use that word all the time, and sometimes because you're coming from a certain, if you're from the streets or you're from a certain community, that word is something that is a normal word. Then you start using it with not even just people that are black. You use anybody that's a friend of yours or anybody of you know in that culture. You end up calling them that name, and the name that ends with the GA versus the name that ends with the ER. Okay, so the difference between that is the ER is more of a the ER is more of a uh I would say a more of a racial way of saying it, and versus when people in the streets say it as GA. However, my whole thought behind this is to be quite honest with you, I don't like the word period. I think when we say it and when we say it to each other, I think it's degrading. I think when, when you call somebody, especially another brother, that word, you're kind of like allowing other people to use that word. And then this is the problem that we then start to have. Then when we start hearing people with it, are saying it, and saying it to, even to us, we get very agitated. And I know there's some people that, are from the community, or, they grew up in the culture and they are allowed to use the word. But even when they use that word, sometimes, like, I have a couple of friends that do it. And when I hear it, sometimes it just feels very uncomfortable. It's not like they're being racist either. It just feels uncomfortable. It just feels like that's not the right word for them to use. All right. So, like, that's just pretty much how I feel about using that word. Anyways, we have our guest in the waiting room. He goes by the name of Emcee Heavy. We're gonna let him in, and I want to see what his input is, or I want to hear what his input is about the this whole situation using the N word, because he comes from a community. He comes from a um, you know, comes from quite a bit of a rough community in Jane and Finch. He grew up in Jane and Finch. So he's from that era. He's from that type of culture. But I want to hear, because I've never heard Emcee Heavy use that word. So I want to hear him hear what he has to say in regards to that word. So we're gonna let him in. Everybody, we are gonna let I want to introduce to you Emcee Heavy. Ladies and gentlemen, Emcee Heavy, he is here in the building.
What up? What up? What up? Long time no see, brother.
It's been a while. It's been at least few years.
Here, let me just. How do I put this sideways so you can see me better like this? Hold up. Let
There
me
you
get
go.
accustomed to. Hold up. Give me 1 second.
It's all good.
Whatever. Let me see. All right. Hold up. Oh, you know what? I have a stand over here. Give me a
Look at
second.
that, man. You got every you got your little setup over there. You good?
Yeah. Actually, I'm this. Actually plays out. This is how I do my little videos and so.
Right on.
But. Yeah, this is interesting. I just jumped in, so I heard the conversation that you guys are having, and can you guys see me well like this?
Oh,
Or
I can see you perfectly, bro. You are perfect. You are perfect. I see you perfect. Sorry, I'm just going through my phone. So you're saying that you're hearing what we were talking about. So, and what we're talking about is something that is quite normal, right? I think
hmm
this word, like, if coming from the hood and the streets,
yeah.
it's a word that you hear often. Sometimes you may feel that it's normal. What's
hmm
your what's your intake on that?
So before I go on, let me just give myself an introduction.
Yes,
My
please.
name is Steven Salguero, also known as Heavy Steve, MC Heavy on platforms for social media. I'm a hip hop artist. I'm an actor. I have my own program called One Heavy Dream, which is helping out with the youth. I do public speaking. I do workshops based on social justice, mental health awareness. I share about my life, the experiences that I've gone through a car accident in 2006 that left me in a coma. I went through brain surgery, couldn't read, couldn't speak,
Oh
had to go to
man.
rehab to learn what emotions were. So, and also diagnosed with epilepsy. So, yeah, I going back to my brother was saying, as for that word, like growing up in Jane and Finch, and I don't want to hear just come on saying like I'm from the hood and everything. I've like grown in different levels of the hood, like from public housing to like to another building that isn't public housing right across,
Right.
and then to a house.
Right.
Right, but all my brothers, I didn't, I didn't grow up with too many Spanish people. I grew up with Jamaicans, Somalians,
Hmm.
Trinidadians, Guyanese. So for the word itself, that's always been around. That's always been thrown. Even and it doesn't mean like in a derogative way. It's just like another way to say brother. But in return, I've never said that. Like it's not my thing.
Hmm.
It's never not to take away anything. Not saying like to each their own. But that's not in like my vocabulary as with anything.
Absolutely.
I'm an artist. I do hip hop, and that's still not thrown. I
Yes.
always throw the word like my dude or my brother. Right.
Yes.
So
Proper
so
vocabulary.
yeah
And
yeah
and
yeah.
and like I said, that word is it's a slang word, right? So when we
Yeah.
say proper vocabulary, we're talking about speaking well, right?
Mhm.
Like, because when you go to certain type of, if you go to certain jobs or you go to certain type of, places of business around certain type of business people or different type of business people, you're gonna change that vocabulary. You're gonna change your vocabulary. You're gonna
Yeah, for
speak
sure.
different, right? I'm sure you're not gonna use that word.
Yeah, like outside of your
So
outside, like your friends, you're not gonna
yeah,
say the same thing to other people.
yeah, you're not gonna say it. So what's the point of saying it when we're amongst each other? I think it's more of a comfort thing. I think it's more
Yeah.
of no, it being a normalized word to use. But in all respect, I just feel like the whole aspect about it is just kind of like, because now I'm going to show a video about there's a video of a gentleman that he's a store owner. He's an older gentleman. He's a store owner, furniture store owner. I believe it's in Memphis, and
Okay.
he uses that word a lot to a lot of the customers, and a lot of people have complained about him. And then finally he said it to the wrong person and they took it out on him.
Mhm.
So we're gonna watch the video, we're gonna get into it, and we'll talk about it after.
Well, there are many different stories about what led up to an argument here at Hometown Furniture Store in South Haven. One thing, though, that the owner does not dispute is that he did indeed use a racial slur. He told me that it was appropriate given the circumstances. A customer captured this video Saturday. Witnesses say it shows the store's owner, Terry Pace, cursing and using a racial slur at black customers.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, you hear people like on TV saying these things and all that. Just to hear it though in person, like just so aggressively, is really off-putting.
A sign in the window said the store was closed today, so we went to Pace's home for answers.
I don't care what they say.
Super regulated.
I did what I felt like was right. You weren't there. You didn't hear it. You didn't hear all the stuff that I heard.
He admits to using the N-word, but says he was provoked and even attacked, leaving him with a black eye. Police say they were called to the store, but no report was filed.
I called them the N-word when it was over with. When it was all over with, and they kept mouthing off to me, yes, ma'am, I used the N-word.
Those who work in the plaza with him say this isn't the first time he's made offensive comments.
He was like, yeah, no, I don't finance because only people that want to get furniture finance is the colored and they don't pay their bills. Yes, this is what he told me, and I let that go.
The property manager says they've received numerous complaints about Pace, and he's only been at this location 2 months. They're hoping this incident doesn't push customers away from the plaza and other businesses.
We need to come out here and support the business. We need to come out here and support South Haven, uplift it. We don't plan on having him stay, so.
Now the property manager says the lease on the furniture store here behind me is up next month and they have no plans to renew. Reporting live in South Haven, Mississippi tonight.
Yeah, so it looks like they're gonna get rid of him. They ain't renewing his lease, buddy. I mean, he deserves it. He deserves it. And I hope that he learns his lesson. And if not, I don't think he will, because he was very openly in how he said it and how he explained the whole thing. He was very openly about it. He said, yes, I did use the word. And just hearing his voice, though, it sounds very southerny. So, he could come from, and he's older, so he could come from a different type of upbringing, but that still doesn't make it right. And I think, being Black History Month, I think this the reason why I'm playing these things. I think it's very important for everybody. Now, and just very quickly, what's your background?
I was born here,
Yeah,
but mi familia de Ecuador.
you're Ecuadorian, right? Yeah. Okay. So
And there's Ecuadorians of all different skin complexions.
that's
You
right.
have of a darker skin complexion.
That's
You have
right.
a one that looks Caucasian,
Yeah.
and then you have like
Yeah.
my skin color. So
Yeah. Yeah.
what would you say my skin color is?
You look like mulatto. I would say mulatto. Is that
Cool.
is that the word? Is that
I really don't know. I don't.
you,
You know.
I always thought that when I first met you, I thought you were Indian, because you brown. That's what it is. So, and in America, they consider, in Canada it's different. In America, they consider Spanish people brown people,
Yeah.
but in Canada, brown people are Indian people.
Mm.
It's different. But if you go to America and they say black and brown when they fight for black and brown, that's
Yeah.
Spanish and Hispanic, right?
For sure. And another thing is because even in Ecuador, with what people would say because of my skin complexion, I would be indigenous
right,
of Ecuador, right?
right,
Because we have like people that look Indian in Ecuador that are like coming more from the from different areas. It's not really they're not city people,
right,
right?
right.
So yeah,
We got some comments here. The word has become a term of endearment. Yes, it has. It has become a word of endearment, and it's being used by everybody. So when people like, I was talking to my neighbor, and I said to him, I said, "What's your intake on this?" He's a Caucasian gentleman, and I said, what's your input in all that word?" And he goes, "Well, can I be honest with you?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, if you guys, why do you guys call each other that? But when other people call you guys that, you get upset, right? And I said, you know what? You know, he's right. He's right to a certain extent, because like, but our argument's gonna go on and say, well, he's not from, or sorry, he doesn't understand the culture, or the word is different. It's worded different. Like when you say nigga and nigger, it's different, right? There's different terms and but to me, I think the word still stems from the same branch. It's still from the
yeah.
same branch,
See,
and
it's from the same seed.
it's from the same seed, right? And if there's a proper way of saying that term, because we all know where all those terms came from, and it came from the term Negro, which in the dictionary is the correct black, or is the correct term to identify an African American. Okay,
Yeah,
so that's kind of how it all worked out
yeah.
to be that way. So instead of saying nigger, we turned around and said, okay, nigga. But we're
My brother went missing, or did I get kicked out? I can't hear you, man. You went just missing.
absolutely, where did I go here? There, I'm back now.
Okay, you're
Sorry
right.
about that. It's
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe it was my
Even
Wi-Fi
with
or
the
something.
video, you couldn't really hear or see. It was just little clips, but but
Oh
they
yeah?
showed clips. But I seen clips of what it was. You can see that he was talking. You can see it with the black guy.
Okay. Let me try
So
playing it again. Maybe
the,
my internet looks like it's pretty slow. It looks like it's
so that's
slow.
what. Just
Am I
didn't mean to interrupt you. Didn't
no,
mean
you're
to, but
fine.
just saying. But another just while you're doing this, a word that what people would say in with the Spanish people, and it is the same way, but it's differently. And I feel like I don't even know how to say it, but like they would say like when you're saying black and everything, and that word that's used, they would say as in the color itself is negro, negro
Right,
like black,
right,
lo blanco, negro like white, black. That's a rephrase, right? But even
right,
that, like, it's different. It's difficult for me to even say it, and people would know, like I wouldn't say it in a way or like I don't mean it in a derogative way, but
right,
I don't even say it. I'd say a dark skinned brother, or like I would like I would just see how I would say it around. I wouldn't even like to use that word. It's a powerful word itself. Look where it comes from, right? So like yeah, and like I said, like even from all my best friends, they're Jamaican and
hmm
African, and so and even the previous my ex girlfriends, the last three girls that I was with, and I love them all, and they're Jamaican.
right.
So so
MC Heavy
like
with the
I love
Yachty
everybody.
team.
Even my one of my Spanish friends, she's a lady. She
Yeah,
she was saying it's like you're racist with your own people. I'm like, how
right,
do you mean? Like
right.
she's like, I seen you at Salsa St. Clair. I go, doesn't that tell you something? She's like. She's like, look at the crowd you're with. I go, that's them. I'm like, I'm Spanish and you're Spanish. So how do you figure?
Right,
But we're laughing. But we're laughing about it. But we're
right.
laughing about it, right? So
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. No, but I mean, and this goes to show too, like the diversity that we have, in our country, and I've dated women also from other backgrounds. Like my
Mhm.
daughter's half Indian, she's half Gujarati, and then I have
Mhm.
you know a half white son now that I've just found out about, and now and I
Congratulations. But regardless,
thank you,
congratulations.
thank you very much. And so on and so forth. I've had a Chinese girlfriend, a Cambodian girlfriend. So
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
it's just this is the way it is here. And I think like even for them, like I've had some of my ex-girlfriends use the N-word on me. like in arguments, right? And they
Mm.
called me that name in arguments and
Yeah.
so on and so forth. But I kind of like I let it slide because to me it's like, yeah, it's a very it's a very what's the word to say? I had it.
Derogative.
Derogative. There's that. That's right. Derogative word to use. But at the end of the day, if I get angry about it, I'm just basically entitling or retitling what they're calling me, right? Because
Yeah.
we all know in the dictionary what the true meaning of a
Yeah.
nigger is, okay,
Yeah.
and what it really entails. So when that happens, I said, "Yep, okay, cool, whatever. You're obviously the real one, not me."
Hmm. Yeah.
and I just I let it go.
No, let it slide. I get it, right? Like, you don't mean it in a derogative way, but do you know where it's coming from, the way you're saying it, and so, like even like my ex girlfriends, they've used it in a sense when they're speaking about something,
Right.
and whatever the case may be, like whatever, like it's never thrown at me in a sense like that. They've never called me that personally, but I have, like I said, my Jamaican friends and my other dudes. They call me like that, right? So,
Right.
and I'm not saying that, but like I've had my ex girlfriend. She also told me, she's like, I hope that that when they say that to you, you correct them.
Yeah.
But at the
Yeah.
same time, as much as I see what you're saying, but they come from
Yeah.
like a different culture. And I'm not someone to say, "Oh, you shouldn't say that." I
Right.
should, I guess, I can, but I don't want to really just come into people's
Yeah. You kind
like,
of disagree with it. You're like, yeah, yeah. All right, what's
yeah,
up,
yeah,
man?
yeah,
All right,
yeah,
cool.
good.
All right,
But
thanks,
like,
man.
but if it's said in a derogative way, like, if
Yeah.
it comes in a night, I say, "Yo, like, come on," like, But
Yeah.
that's never been the case.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. I mean, yeah. Once again, I don't like the word, and I feel like I think we just need to stop using the word and try to like change the word. Like instead of using that word, I usually say brother, right? Like
Yeah,
so I used to because I used to say it a lot. So when I catch myself saying it, I'll say brother instead,
yeah,
right? I just think for me that's better. It's just better for me, right? I don't, and I even when I say it, I feel uncomfortable saying it sometimes. It
yeah,
depends. Sometimes it
yeah,
slips out and it feels normal, but I do think, but even when saying it in public around other people, when they hear it, they're like, "What the hell? Like, why do they call each other that?" Like, that's
yeah,
what's
yeah,
going through their brains, but we're not thinking that because it's
yeah. No,
not all up
100%.
there. We
Yeah,
need to
yeah.
we
Like
need to change
it's
this.
it's
Yeah,
crazy that people think that, like, especially me, like people would think like, the way how I am, and
yeah,
they don't know my background in the sense, like, even before I started rapping and hip hop and everything, I was playing in a punk rock band, and
right.
around these white guys, and it's crazy. It's and like, I like the music, the whole culture of everything. Like, once
Yeah.
I left the hood, I started skate. I came over here and I was around a bunch of white people, and I
Mhm.
started skateboarding, and I picked up the guitar. I listened to rock, well, to be more specific, punk rock. Like, in the front in the sun where people have mohawks and stuff, doing
Yeah,
shows all downtown and Queen Street, the Bovine Sex Club. Like, it's
yeah.
insane. But like, it's like they feel this comfort, and I'm telling you, these people, I'm sure don't use it in
Hmm.
other way in other people, but then they get this comfort where they can say it like to me. And these aren't people that are of dark skin complexion, right?
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
like, and I'm saying, hey, like, dude, I say brother, I say dude. But like,
Hmm.
like I said, to each their own. I don't want to just kill the vibe in the sense saying, oh, don't say that. Like, I know maybe I should and everything. It's never said in a derogative way or in a negative way. It's like a brother, but like, would you really say that to someone else? Like,
That's
you
right.
know who I am. I'm cool and everything. Would say everything, but I'm not gonna one that's gonna say point you out, because like, as much as it comes out like in a peaceful way, but I don't want to be someone to kill the vibe either. Say,
Yeah,
oh my God, here we
yeah.
got this guy. Here we have a fucking we have the fucking police. Like,
Yes. Yes.
like, you say, oh, I'm not racist, like, or the rest. I'm not racist. I have a black cousin. Like, I have, like, my friends of a darker skin complexion. Like, it's like they try to have some sort of reason, or like, some sort of paps.
Yeah, 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 man. That makes sense. That makes
Right?
sense. Yes.
But like I said, I don't want to be the one that like everyone's at partying. Yeah, I'm here with my brother. Like just saying that. Like cool, cool. But it's say, hey, don't say that. Like like
Yes.
I'm not in no like I don't want to be the one to just kill because that does kill the vibe.
It does.
Yeah, and say, yo, who
Absolutely.
the fuck? Like, fuck, oh, here we go. We got Mr. Conscious. You got Heavy. He's here. He's conscious. What are you going to fucking do a spoken word piece about racism and stuff like that? Give us that street stuff, man. Like, even my music is more on a conscious tip.
Always.
So, like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
here we go. Fuck. Here, Common. Here, give you Common. I want to hear some 50 Cent. I don't want to hear Common. I want to hear Talib Kweli. I don't want to hear, give me some Lloyd Banks. Give me
Yeah.
some Wu-Tang,
Yeah. Yeah.
So, whatever. It is what it is. But like, yeah.
Absolutely, man. Now we're gonna get into your interview very shortly, and
Yeah.
but while I have you on here, every
Mhm.
week I usually I like to first of all I like to toast the guests, so we're gonna do a toast after, okay? And also, what I also like to do is I like to talk about self therapy. So every week I like to come up with a brand new way or a brand new thing to do as self therapy. So many people, have a hard time with therapy in general, even with
Oh yeah,
talking to somebody. So on
for
Therapy
sure.
Hub, I try to find little ways to help one another, or where we can help each other. Talk about. Oh, I lost you there. Give me a second. He's back. I lost you
Supposed
there.
to see me, but yeah, okay.
All right, you're back. Uh, 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 Are you back? What's going on?
I'm not
It's
sleeping.
not
I'm
letting you come in.
yeah.
Are you there now? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's and I apologize, guys. My internet barely lags, but it's lagging today for some reason. So I apologize to those who are watching if you are having issues. And I'll be able to look at it and fix some things later on our editing. However, um, back to our conversation about self therapy. So what I like to do is I kind of like to have something to do every week because I go
Mm-hmm.
through a lot of mental health battles myself. Right, there
Mm-hmm.
are some struggles that I am having. I suffer from depression, anxiety, many, many, many things. That's not it. However, I I'm beginning to. I do have support systems, so I do have somebody I speak to. I do have a life coach and etc. But
It's
I'm
beautiful.
also. It's very, very important. What I'm also doing is I'm trying to find ways because when sometimes you can when you're down or you're having an episode, you can't always pick up the phone and call somebody because sometimes people are not always going to be available. Not to say that they don't
Yeah.
want to be available, but my life coach could be sitting down eating dinner or something, and I call
Mhm.
her, like with family that she hasn't seen for 12 years. Like who knows?
Yeah.
Like it's life.
Yeah. It's like
So
I'm sorry for interrupting, but
mhm.
I need to speak.
Yes, that's right. That's exactly right. So pretty much that's what self therapy is for and what it helps for situations like that. So I found many different things. I read daily scriptures. I read daily affirmations. I listen to John Maxwell. I listen to TD Jakes. I listen to a lot of motivational stuff. But for the most important thing, I have like a therapy hub in my office here, inside the therapy hub here. This is the
Mhm.
office room. So inside the therapy hub is you see you see some boxing gloves there. There's a punching bag.
Nice.
Um, and I have some push-ups, some weights down there at the bottom. And I exercise in the morning now in my home. Before I used
That's
to get
good.
in
That's
my
very consuming for the brain, man. Good
yeah,
for
'cause
you. Good for
I
you.
like it though because I used to go to the gym, right? And sometimes me going to the gym, there's people there like people. I like people at the gym, but sometimes people just want to talk too much, even when I'm working out. So I'm just like, okay, I need a day or a couple of days out of the week where I'm working out by myself, where I'm not interrupted. So
Yeah.
that's kind of how I feel when I'm at home. So now I'm working out at home, and like I have a breakfast schedule now, and
That's
I get
good.
up.
Good for you.
Yo, man, it feels so good. What's your self? What do you do for self therapy?
For self-care, well, like, okay, so first of all, one thing that I've cut off is I don't know for good, but like alcohol. It's funny that you're talking about episodes. I had an episode about what, like 3 weeks ago, and at this moment full blown. I've never gone out like that. Like, I was talking to my friends. I felt like the world was against me. Things weren't going my way. Everything kept falling apart. I'm in a collective group. We're making music. I feel like everyone's just plotting on me. And I made this story in my head. And this was so far fetched. Like, to me, it makes sense. But in reality, like, these people wouldn't do that. These guys
Yeah.
wouldn't plot. Like, a whole neighborhood is plotting on me. In my head, I was just like blown out. I had a seizure like 4 days prior to that. I didn't sleep. Like I said, I have epilepsy, so I have seizures.
Right.
I
Yeah.
take about what, like about 8 pills a day, 4 in the morning and 4 at night. Right. So and I got new medication. I can't see you.
You,
But
that's okay. You're the star of the show now. You take
thank you, thank you, thank you.
repeat
It's
how
One Heavy
many.
Dream. That's my program. One Heavy Dream, creative
Nice,
edutainment arts. But anyways,
nice,
talk about that later.
nice.
Yeah. So like a full blown episode, and like it got to the point like I was FaceTiming my friends, and one of my friends thought like, oh, this guy's drunk and everything, just being an idiot. And then my other friend, he's like, this isn't Heavy. This is not like him. Are you okay? And I'm going on, and then this is via we're on Snapchat. We have a Snapchat, a video thing. So I put my phone down, and I'm just talking like just talking loud and everything. And then my mom came downstairs, and then I'm telling him, and then I'm losing my mind, and then my heart starts beating fast. So now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna lay down. I go, okay, mom, call the police. Like, call 911. So the police came to my house, and this has never happened to me. This has never happened to me. And what's crazy, this is like only 3 weeks ago. So it happened,
Wow.
and
Sorry to hear about
yeah,
this, man.
yeah, and like they called the police came, and you know what's crazy? And I don't know if you guys know what's going on here in Toronto with the police. There's a big scam that they were plotting some extortion
There's 7
and
police officers charged, eh? Yeah, I want to talk about that after too. Anyways, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
yeah. So that's something. But you know what? To be fair, the police came really quickly. They were talking to me. They're like, "Okay, are you okay? What's going on?" And I'm like as much as I have this story in my head, which isn't like real, but it makes, like I said, to me it makes sense. But in reality, I know it's not. My heart was beating fast, and that's when I got scared.
Right.
I'm like, okay, so I'm like, okay, you know what, guys, I'm laying down. Call the ambulance. I need the ambulance. So the ambulance
Mhm.
came by, picked me up, and like I can imagine, my family's like scared. They've never seen me like this. They know I'm like this clown, and I can like make jokes, and I that's the person I am. I can bring everyone together, bring unity, bring love, and calm down things.
Mhm.
Right. So they came and they packed me up. They put me in an ambulance. They put me in a stretcher or whatever. And then to the ambulance, like, once the paramedics got me, I'm like, my heart was beating fast. I'm like, okay, guys, I can't be in line because in the hospital there's like a big lineup where people are trying to get served, like, because I'm not the only one with the situation that's going on. But I honestly felt like I was gonna have a heart attack, so I kept saying my heart is beating fast, like, I'm scared, like, I'm like, oh, is this my last moments in life? So then they took me upstairs, and they were talking to me, and they put me in a room. I don't know what it was called. It was like they put me in a tunnel. It was like what's it called, a CT scan, when they put you in a hole or something, in like a little tunnel when you're in the
Yeah, yeah.
hospital. You
You
know what
got
I'm talking about, when they get
yeah,
like a
yeah.
body checkup.
You got
So
the.
they
I think
do
it was like
that.
a scan, like a
Yeah.
CT scan. I think it. Yeah.
So while I'm laying down, like, I'm dazed out, I'm like out of my mind. I'm still like, like cooperating, and then my sister's in the room, and then I'm saying stuff to her, kind of like opening up about stuff, and like, some things that didn't work, like, maybe got out of extent, just out of proportion, I guess, because it's like I felt like I was gonna die, and I'm gonna say, let me just pour it all out. I'm sorry. I should have been a better brother and everything. And then my sister gets up, like, and I'm talking too much. She's like, this is too much for her to consume. And then my mom's on the other side, and she's there, and I'm just like, I'm just talking. I'm sorry. I could have been a better son. I didn't go become a plumber or a construction worker. I never finished high school. I've gotten things. I've got my diploma for school for acting for camera and voice. I've got a university diploma for. I got a scholarship to go to Nova Scotia University to take a skills for social change course. It was
Right.
for a month and they paid for it. And I'm someone without high school. I'm 39 years old. So, but I'm saying, like, I'm grateful, but I'm sorry I wasn't that construction worker or that doctor or that welder or whatever. I was never that. I was just this guy that was living his dream, like, reaching his dream. And I have, like, a lot of things that I've accomplished in life.
Mhm.
But I feel like I needed to let it all out, just like, And then I was going in the scan. I just kept going to my mom. I know you don't have to pretend that I'm gonna live forever. I'm gonna die right now. And you can imagine my mom just having this conversation, like, just listening to me talk, like I'm about to die. And she's like crying. And I'm just like laying down. I'm like, this is killing you inside, isn't it?
Yeah.
And she's like crying. She's like, yeah. She's like, yeah, yeah. And then whatever, I went through that little tunnel and then I woke up the next day.
Wow.
But yeah, like I said, an episode like that I've never experienced. Like,
I was
I
gonna
guess,
say, is that the worst
yeah, yeah, yeah,
worst one you've had?
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So in the morning they were asking me, "Oh, have you ever thought of suicide or hurt yourself? No. Are you do you do drugs?" And I'm not talking about like marijuana or alcohol. I had a bit of an alcohol problem, and I was going to AA for a bit, and then I just like a relationship fell apart, and I just said, forget it. Let me just live my life and everything. But I should have just kept it going, just because it's been like, I don't think in my life I've ever been a month without alcohol, even if it's something light drinking.
Right.
But like, no, never. Like, and
So,
yeah, and
so
just
having a toast today, are you celebrating sobriety then? Are you not drinking?
well, yeah, well, you can say that I've been sober since that day that happened. That was
Okay.
January 17th.
Okay. Well,
So that's why I'm drinking
my
water.
son, that's
So
my son's birthday. So
nice,
congratulations
congratulations.
on your sobriety on that day. 17 is a big number. I'm born on December 17th. So
Oh, nice.
I like that number. I think it's a part of me and my best friend, my homegirl. We talk about it
Yeah,
all the time. Her
nice.
favorite number is 17. She's born on the 7th day of a month.
Mhm.
And but like us, like we believe that 7 is our like is like
Mhm.
the lucky number. So
Yeah, yeah,
good luck to you on that, man. And I
yeah.
hope, now let me ask you a question, because in our documentary we're talking a lot about, and by the way, A Man's Cry documentary, everybody, will be out February 15th. Hopefully we can get it
What's
out like
that?
we are. So A Man's Cry documentary is kind of like what you're being interviewed a little bit for today as well. So
Okay.
what it is it's a documentary about men's mental health, the root causes to men's mental health. So,
Yeah.
there's different things in different departments in men's mental health, are with men's mental health, that men have issues with, okay, or that
Mhm.
we struggle with. So one of them being chronic illnesses, neurological chronic illnesses, like
Yeah,
epilepsy and,
yeah,
and others, right? Schizophrenia. And then you
yeah.
have things like, gun crime. I believe that that is a mental health concern, because you know some of the things, some of the reasons to why you pick up a gun and to kill somebody has to be questioned, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and and for most part, I don't for me, I don't believe killing anybody for anything, unless it's,
yeah,
defending yourself to the last bit.
yeah.
I
That's the
think
last bit or
to
whatever.
the last bit, I
But
think
even
it's
then,
just,
but even
even
then, does
then
it
it's just,
really? Is it really
I
the
know,
last one?
I
But
know.
then it just
Yeah,
it's a scary thing.
exactly.
It's a
It's a
scary
very
thing.
scary thing, and I just think it's against God's will,
Mhm.
and I just don't believe in it. And
Yeah,
I'm a very spiritual person, and I believe
yeah,
that there are consequences for that in the
yeah,
long
yeah.
run.
It'll come around, like like
Yeah.
that's it, like karma, basically.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
But
to each his own.
yeah, to each
Um.
his own for sure. And like speaking about what you're doing about what's it called, the man's cry.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I think that's
Correct.
that's super dope. That's super
Yeah.
dope.
So this
And
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
no,
Oh,
no,
sorry,
no,
let
no,
me finish it. But yeah, because I was explaining about it.
no,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the documentary pretty much targets those particular topics,
Hmm.
but then we have three things that we kind of, so we talk about the root causes, the experiences. So we have individuals like yourself and other individuals that are going through things, and then we have the solution. So we kind of talk about fixing the problem, or working, or having coping strategies to work towards fixing, because we know sometimes you just can't get over things. Grieving, when you're grieving or whatever it is, it's not about getting over, it's about coping and learning, ways on how to, strategies and how to get through it. So that's what that whole documentary is
That's
about.
cool, man.
Yeah, we got Daniel on there, hip hop legend Daniel,
Oh,
yourself.
sick.
Yeah, we got Richard Miller from Keep Six on there. Shout out to Richard Miller. Shout out to Sling Dads, Marlon Mortgage. I'm from
Oh,
Jane. You
wow.
probably know who Sling Dads is, being from
Oh,
Jane
yeah,
and Finch.
yeah.
And so we got some heavy hitters on there, man.
Well, good for you, man.
The home run.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you, man. Yeah,
That's
thank
good,
you so
man.
much. Thank you so much. February 15th, everybody. So
Yeah.
we're going to be talking about epilepsy. And one of the things that we're going to be speaking about are one of the questions I want to ask you, and I'm going to, put the screen on full for you. So we're going to use some of these clips
Yeah.
is, tell me because I know it's very important to take your medication. Now, there is a statistic. They say that 1 to every 100 Canadians live with epilepsy. So just to let you know that you're definitely not alone. They
Yeah.
are 1 to every, and it's not even like you guys are unique, or it's different, because 1 to every 100 is very, we're living population, a world or in a population, Canadian population of almost 1 billion, right? If that. So 1 to every 100 is is quite a bit of a number.
And
That's
that's only how many people actually speak that they have, because a lot of people
that's right.
are
Are not
scared and
diagnosed. They're
ashamed.
undiagnosed.
I can
Yeah.
talk about I can make my jokes about it, but
Yeah.
someone else is gonna be like,
Yeah. Yeah.
because you have
Same-
seizures. It's
Yeah.
scary.
Same thing with schizophrenia. And there's
Yeah.
so many people, everybody, I think a lot of people have schizophrenia. It's just a lot of people just go undiagnosed, right?
Yeah.
And
It's just they
yeah.
don't speak about it because it's not easy. So sorry to cut you off. Just something quickly
Mhm.
to add on to what I was saying within my story. So after that happened, I looked at the paperwork and they say like you have to the report after the what's it called? They put me in that tube and kind of a report and everything, and they say they wrote down the reason why I was to the hospital, and they put down psychosis. I'm
Wow.
like, whoa. Like, whoa. And they gave me medication. And I said, oh, because I have trouble sleeping. And so, like,
Right.
I didn't sleep for a couple of days prior to that because I had a seizure. And I was helping with my friend doing the snow removal. That's something I do in the winter. And
Nice.
it was just,
We
it
share
just
that in
came in.
common.
It just came in and just couldn't sleep. But sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Carry on before what you're saying.
No, you're fine. You're fine. But yeah, I think this, all in all, the documentary is going to be great. I think that's what I think I was just finishing off speaking
Sorry.
about that. No. I'm done. It's actually your turn to talk now. I think I've been talking too much.
No, it's good. I'm sorry. Just because once I see a camera and stuff, I get a little it's not shy. It's just hear me out. It's tatted on my chest. Just hear me out.
Yeah, it's flashing from scene to scene here. So one thing that I want to tell you, or ask you, like I said, 1 to every 100 Canadians have epilepsy. They live with it. That's 70%, or the 70% of those Canadians, take medication. Okay. That leaves 30% of people that are not taking the medication. Tell me and explain to the people how important it is to take your medication and the consequences that you may occur if you don't take your medication for epilepsy.
No, it's super important to take your medication, and that's not just having epilepsy. That's anything in general, because you never know when you can have a seizure. Like I've had my times where I've had a seizure on a date. I've had a seizure performing, whether it was with my punk band when I was in a punk band. I've had a seizure at school when I was doing my acting for camera and voice while we were shooting a scene in the green screen. And this was in college. Of like I'm saying anywhere, I've had it just sitting down here. Like my mom came downstairs to see if I wanted something to eat, and I was just like on the ground, just like just passed out, and I'm dazed out. I don't really know what's going on, and I have my tongue. Like you can't swallow your tongue either. That's just a myth, but that doesn't mean you can't bite your tongue, right? Because your body gets tensed up. And there's different kind of seizures of there. And that's something that people don't know. There's, you can have a full convulsion, or you can be a different seizure when you just can't talk. You'd be like so spaced out, you can't speak. So as for medication, yeah, it's super important. It's super important, and then the sake of taking it at a specific time always. Like I take my medication when I wake up and try to do it like between 6-7 o'clock. But then like what I was doing prior, and like pretty much having a couple of drinks after, right? So like late, like if I'm out there partying with my friends and just like enjoying, but yeah, like there's consequences for everything. There's
Absolutely.
always consequences for everything. So it's not even saying that, like I said, it sucks to say like don't take your the medication, or like go out and party sometimes, and because I'm not the person to speak about like just to say okay, it's once in a while, or like if you're gonna drink, be responsible about it. And if someone like me, like before they stopped selling 40s, that was my thing, like sipping
Or
40s, like old
OE.
English. OD. So like and
Yeah.
they stopped selling it. So like that was they stopped selling like 3 years ago. So 2-3 years ago. So that was a big bummer. And why I like 40 is not just because it's a hood thing. It's because the old English had a top. And I always have my backpack, so I can just have some, and I'll go on with my day, go wherever, and cool, and just spread a good vibe. But then it
Right.
becomes a problem when it's so consistent, and then you
Right.
start depending on it, and then like it's bad. Like it's not like it's fine for the moment, but I got to keep in mind I'm turning 40 May 28th. Like I'm not that
Big
person.
40, man. Welcome to the
Yeah,
club, big
big
guy.
40 with 40,
Wel
right?
welcome to the
Cheers,
club.
cheers. Like cheers with my water.
Yeah. No, we
you
gotta
know.
cheers to that.
So yeah, just with that, it's about being responsible because the body can only take so much for so long.
Mhm.
So that's what my doctor, when I told them about the situation, she said maybe it's time for you to stop drinking and smoking. Like if you're having what people say psychosis, it's good. First of all, you know what happened, and that's something that's important
Mhm.
because people go through the same thing and they have no clue about what happened.
Absolutely.
So the same people that I have that I was on Snapchat when I was doing the video while I was going through this experience, I laugh about it with them now. I go like, yo, I'm just like, I'm having an episode. They're joking around with me like, yo, Heavy, are you good? You having an episode? I go, no, I'm good. And then like with my other friend there, like he got on the chat, like he was looking down, and so yo, don't have an episode. Don't be like Heavy. You're gonna like you can speak to us. Like don't worry, like and we're laughing about it. Like that's how I look at things. I got to be comedic about it. If it makes me feel good, everyone's laughing about it, and I can be so open about it. But that's not everybody. There's people saying, "Yo, I go through that too, but I don't want nobody to know that shit."
Right.
Then and that's to each their own. But you got to be responsible with things. And as for medications, that's something that I live with forever. And another thing is, I'm an ambassador for the Toronto Epilepsy organization.
Say that again?
I'm an ambassador for the Epilepsy Toronto organization. So I do
Congratulations.
workshops like. Hmm?
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks, man. Done
That's big.
shows there. Like, when I do workshops there, I have someone leads and facilitates it, but
Okay.
then I'm one of the guest speakers, and I share my story about going through a car accident, and then
Mhm.
have I shared that story with you guys?
No.
How I
No.
became epileptic? How I was diagnosed with epilepsy?
No. No, you
Oh, I
haven't.
thought so.
No,
This
no. That
this
was
whole
another
thing is
question I think I was gonna ask, I believe. Go ahead, explain. I'd love
so
to hear.
in 2006,
Uh-huh.
I went to Ecuador for the first time. My
Okay.
mom took me there, and March 11th, I had gotten into a severe car accident, and it left me in a coma. I couldn't read, I couldn't speak, I didn't understand what emotions were. That's why I was in rehab. I had a speech impediment, and yeah, I didn't know I had to go through all this stuff, and it was a dark time in my life, just doing all this stuff. And once I started getting better, I wanted to do something positive with my life. But before I even got to that, I started rapping again because I was doing my spoken word before this accident, and I was only 19 years old. So, like I said, March 11th, which was the accident, 2006, on March 11th this year will be 20 years since that happened.
Oh,
So,
man.
I've never had long hair.
So you
I've
were
always
20
had
years
short
old.
hair.
Yeah.
I've always had short hair, but like I don't know if you can see, it's because I went through brain surgery because I was in a
Right.
coma or whatever. I have a big scar on my head.
Yeah. Yeah, I can
So
see a little bit of it there when you do that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So it's a big scar, and I was tired of people saying, "Yo, are you okay?" Because once I got better, everyone's like, "Yo," like being very gentle with me, and I would get frustrated. I'm okay, just I'm normal now. I'm good. Just stop. I don't want this sympathy. Like but keep in mind, I'm still learning about emotions. But I'm like, I'm not a baby. Don't talk to me like I'm some guy that's slow. But without being like ignorant or putting myself down, like I'm a little pushed back because of this accident. Like, when it comes to the point when you're 19 years old, you have to learn life all over again. I have my difficulties, even with things that are basic. I always have to ask, can you say that again? Can you break that down for me? Or I don't know what you mean. Like I say that, even if it's something, you don't know that, you should know that. That's stuff you learn in elementary school and high school. Well, when that accident happened, it was like the reset button. It hit the button and it was reset. And that's why I had to go to rehab. And yeah, so that's with that story. And then as I got better, like I said, I wanted to get into art, so I started doing hip hop, and I was doing spoken word, and I was in programs that were based on social justice over here in Jane and Finch and in general, and talking about like you were doing plays, and that's how like doing plays. I was in a group called No Man's Land, real life, real drama, real theater, and we did a big play just based on what goes on in the hood, the misconceptions of life, of being a person of a different skin complexion,
Right.
like just yeah, social justice, and because of all these things I was doing, we did a big play that took place at Young People's Theater, and we what's it called? We won an award for the Identify and Impact Toronto Awards for building the community through arts.
Nice.
So and then that's why like just climbing up the ladder, just slowly like picking myself up because I was always into art. The highest mark I ever got in high school was drama, which was what, like I think in '84. Like I said, I was never I'm not done school, like, and I'm not trying to promote that either. Like knowledge is key. So like we go to school, learn, and it's key to learn. And I always tell people the way I do things, like sharing this story when I do workshops. I feel like I'm doing some public speaking right now. This is what I do in front of schools, conferences, even in little groups of crowds of people, just to share the story because people are just like, wow. Like I told someone I was at a program. There's a place at Yorkgate Mall by Jane and Finch, and there's a youth center called The Spot. And I was talking a little bit about having a seizure, and I'm just talking, just saying like kind of. I was a little bummed out, like yeah, this is what happened, and yeah, I just like this is how I dealt with. And what was crazy is how in tune everybody was. Like everybody stopped what they were doing and just like really listening to me. And
Right.
I'm just talking like, just whatever, just it sucks, it happened, whatever. I dealt with it. I had a seizure. I didn't even, this is the first time I'm opening up about what happened 3 weeks ago.
Right.
So this will be good if it's recorded.
Oh, we're recording.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. That's great, man. So this is the first time you guys are hearing about this.
Yeah.
I should go get the paper. It says the reason why I went to the hospital is because of going through psychosis. I have a psychosis, or I'm hallucinating. I'm like I said, the story sounds real in my head. I know it's not real, but yeah, I'm not hallucinating. I'm not hallucinating. I'm good. I know who I am. I know I'm not like when my friends call me who was on the chat, who was
Yeah.
on the FaceTime, they're
Right.
like they're like are you okay? I go, yeah, it's snowing outside. I'm doing cartwheels and on the snow. I'm doing snow angels on the stuff and just talking my shit and everyone's laughing, right? But
Right.
like no, I'm good. I'm good. I know what happened. But
Nice.
yeah, just to like, just keep building up yourself, never giving up on anything since that accident. I've done like even with music wise, I've opened up for KRS-One when he came down here for
Mhm.
Stop the Violence movement when he was doing something at Jane and Finch.
Okay.
I've opened for Freeway. Um, yeah, just it's like I said, just all these things. It's been such a blessing, and I'm super honored just to be able to show and share my life story through different platforms, whether it's artistically and to anybody, whether it's a big crowd or just a couple people. I'm just super grateful. And we met. What was it? Elevated Grounds? No, it was
Think
Think
twice.
Twice.
Think
Think
twice.
Twice. Think
Yeah.
Twice.
We
Yeah,
we met doing a play for Think Twice, the Dying to Live play. I think
yeah,
we were the first cast members of the very first part of that play. And then there's a
yeah,
couple of parts. There's I think two different parts, I
yeah, yeah,
believe. And
yeah.
we're from the first we're the
The first
originals.
wave.
We're the originals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But like, shout out to Zia Brown. I know
Yeah,
she's
shout out.
been doing things. She's super great. She
Cheers.
a very important part, like an important person in my life, a mentor.
Hmm.
She is still going on with her movement. She's doing so great, breaking boundaries, breaking everything, up barriers, and she's doing so good. So,
Yeah.
like I said, shout out to Zia Brown.
Shout
Think
out to Z.
twice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
man.
always gets my respect and my loyalty, even when she's mad at me. She always gets mad at me all the time, but she loves me. But
Like,
she always has my loyalty to the end. Being yeah, I'm so proud of her too. She has her own center now where she does her
mhm,
classes with her
yeah,
programs, and she still goes and visits the jails. That's where
yeah,
I actually met Z. So and that's I met her inside the penitentiary when she came in and she had groups and stuff like that. I was a part of her group. And then when I came out, I continued the journey with her. But then I kind of when I moved away from Think Twice, it was to start my own nonprofit organization. And here I am now, right? With
yeah,
Therapy Hub and everything. And you too, man.
yeah,
One
yeah,
Heavy Dream. I'm so
yeah.
proud of you. Honestly, Heavy, like you are like this is what I've been talking about, especially to some of the younger people. And I actually I want you to explain a little bit to the people about your music career because you do have a significant amount of some followers. You've
Mhm,
done some, some good things over the years and some programs, but
mhm,
not even just your music. You embrace the community. You bring your consciousness, the community, and your music in one, and that's
mhm,
your alliance. And I've
yeah.
been watching you over the years. Explain to the
Mhm.
people about that. Let them know who you be. MC Heavy.
Yeah, man. Just
Yeah.
I speak about I speak about what I'm sharing with you guys in different like different ways, like with my hip hop. And this is another thing that with about music. I have a mixtape that I put out like what 8 9 years ago, and it's like pure boom bap, and it's great. And I've been making music since what 2005, 2004. But because of insecurities, I've never put out anything.
Hmm.
And because I was with a program, shout out to my boy Benny, something called Wheel It Studios, where they give workshops. I give a space where people from different communities they uh, they make a track together. We collectively do tracks together and make beats together with us
Hmm.
and different sound engineers. Shout out to my boy Civilian. He's the one that helps me like outside. Like I met him like 15 years ago. Had a seizure at the studio too, but yeah, yeah. With music, and that's anybody. You don't need a Juno award. You don't need a Grammy. You don't need none of that. As long as you believe in what you do, what you love, when you put out your heart, that's what's key. Like
Hmm.
when I do my music, I just let it all out, and that's what's got me to where I'm at now. It's not even like, to be quite honest, not to take away from my music or anything, but what's even more interesting than my music is just my life story. Like you can hear it through the music, but like
Hmm.
even sharing it just like this. This
Right.
is this is what got me on Bell Let's Talk on the first wave with Claire Hughes. This is why who I built a cool relationship, who I'm friends with. I don't know how young the crowd is behind this, but he's super dope. Shock Blair, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I kick it with him. Like I've kicked it with him. I've opened for him at an event. I've come to a couple of his own other shows. He took me to the studio. I didn't record nothing with him, but just to be in that element, just to be there, like, okay, this is dope, man. Like, this is someone in 98, 99, when he came out with this song, Let's Ride. Like, I
Mhm.
was trying to break dance to the song, and I was what, 12 years old, 13 years old. And who would have known, like what, like 20, 26, 20, 27 years later, I'm just kicking it with him. I'm just hanging out with him. Just
Right.
not even making music. We're just chilling and kicking it. I'm like, wow. Like, and I always tell him, like, I have this, I contact him, like, if we're gonna meet up or so, but I don't need to DM him. I can call him, or I can just text him. Say, hey man, what time are you gonna come through? Oh yo, like, I'm gonna slide through. He was at Comic Con last Sunday or 2 Sundays ago, and I was by his place where he was a guest speaker of one of the like, one of the pioneers of hip hop for Toronto. So yeah, just like I said, just to even kick it with him, and I don't want to sound like I'm some sort of stan, like saying,
No,
oh, I'm upset. Like, I always tell him, I
no,
go,
shout
bro,
out Sean
bro,
Claire, bro.
yeah, man, let's do. I'm gonna see him at an event by St. Clair and Bathurst
Mhm.
for the what's it called, the Super Bowl. It's his sound engineer, G Vine. I'll put something up on my Instagram. It's my Instagram's MC Heavy. That's EMCEE Heavy. But yeah,
I'll,
to be able
I'll
just to
I'll
kick
I'll
it with
put
him.
it I'll put it in for them. I'll put your
Yeah,
Instagram for them, man,
yeah,
so they can see it.
yeah.
You know what I'm
But like I
saying?
said, just like that, like, imagine from just opening up for KRS-One and to Freeway, to even open before. How I met Shockler was through what's it called, an event about stopping the violence that happened in Driftwood, an event like that, and that happened in the summer.
Hmm.
Yeah, so just like that. And to even to give him more love for what he does, is he just came out with an album called Transit Music, and it's on all streaming platforms, and it's dope music. It's like, it's he told me about, it's his album that, like, it's an album that he's been working on for so long, and he finally put it out. And like, I was talking to him, like, how do you feel? I went to his opening party, his
Hmm.
listening party, and just, how do you feel? I go, because look, I'm an artist. I've been doing this, and I have a mixtape that I put out 9 years ago, which is like, take it for what it is. But like, how do you feel? And just to get advice from him, just saying, yeah, you just gotta push your music. You gotta just do it and just believe in yourself and go. And now he's doing it. And then I seen him, what, like a month later, sorry, 2 months later, and say, hey, how do you feel? How do you feel? Like,
Yeah.
I follow you on Instagram, and I see you're moving different places, your different events, and like, it's so, like, congratulations. So just with that, it's just very inspiring, just to actually really take it in, and to build a relationship with somebody. Not He's just not an artist, but just a humble guy, just a cool guy that really does his thing. So like I said, just for him to do his thing, like, I'm like super happy to be around good people. That's what it's all about. It's not even just about how successful you are. Of course, you want to send blessings and congratulate them, but like, behind the music, you're a super cool, humble dude. You don't need to go on and be a fucking asshole and say, oh my God, here's another fucking guy, you know? So now that I can just kick it with him and talk my shit. Like a funny joke at Comic Con, we were just chilling outside, and because you know what Comic Con is, right?
Sounds familiar,
So
but
it's an event where, like, people sell like comic books, or people are dressed up like,
oh yes,
uh,
yes, yes.
yeah, like different like
It's like
characters,
an
whether it's,
expo or something like that,
yeah,
correct?
yeah, but pretty much.
Yeah.
So there was one downtown, and I'm just kicking it with him, and I'm like, there's someone coming by that was, like, dressed up like a Ghostbuster. So I'm like, I go, yo, like, we're trying. I go, yo, let's take a picture with the Ghost Fighter, and like, they're laughing, and we take a picture, and they're still laughing. Him and his other friends, and I'm like, well, why are you guys laughing? He's like, it's Ghostbusters, not Ghost Fighters. So, so that was kind of like the joke for the event. We were just laughing about it. But like I'm saying, super cool dude, just like that. And all of this happened just because I started doing spoken word to rap, hip hop, and acting, and just Like you just got to keep going, keep growing, keep glowing, and just believe in yourself, because that's where the music goes, and that's what it is. Because if you don't believe in yourself, then it's you're gonna pull back. And like I said, I'm kind of being a hypocrite because I don't have music out. Oh, like I said, I'm on all streaming platforms under Heavy Steve, just Heavy and Steve. That's my artist name. Like, but yeah, just with that, just always believe in yourself. It doesn't matter. I have people that they're like, they're like, I don't support him, or like, whatever. He's a cool guy, and that's cool. I can't like base my relationship on people. You don't like my music, that's fine, that's cool, But if you're gonna judge me and being an asshole about it, and just like, okay, that's cool. You don't need to be supportive, but you don't need to be an asshole either, right? So, like, that's like I said, I don't base my relationship with people on people that support me or don't, because I can have like 20 people that like a video or something that I do, but then I have like 600-700 views. And then the people always come up to me, yo, I love what you're doing on Instagram. Yo, that song sounds dope. This and that. And like, they're not liking it, but they're viewing it and seeing it, which is cool. It's like, it's they support, they're watching, which is important, right? Like, as long as someone hears me, that's cool. And like, I don't know if it's something like, people have against me or embarrassed to support me, because even other artists that I work with, and I always show love to anybody. If I see a video or picture with someone with their partner and they're doing something cool, I'm gonna like it. If there's an artist that I like from the neighborhood and they're performing something, I'm gonna like it. And I don't need them to like me back. That's fine. You don't like my stuff, that's cool. That's not how I work. Like, if you're cool, you're a cool dude. Like, now that I know, oh, this is super dope. Congratulations, man. Like, when I see you're on mute. You're on mute right now. I can't hear you. You're on mute. I
Mute.
can't hear you.
It
There we go.
happens sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
You're welcome anytime on the show.
Yeah, no, please,
Anytime.
please, man,
Yeah,
thank you. I really appreciate it. And like
absolutely.
I said, now that you're doing this stuff and I can see more, like
Yeah.
I can repost this on my stuff, right?
Right.
Like I can always just repost it. So, and I can be more open. I wish I would have known this longer and more known, like more of this, so I can also promote it myself. Hey, check this out, and to promote it. Like I love doing that. That's the stuff that I do. Like, support people. Just because you don't support me, that doesn't mean I'm not going to support you. No.
True. True.
Like, that's that. Like I said, that's the way I work. That's how I am. I speak for myself. Other people feel different about things.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
I don't need to.
You
But like I said,
support.
it's
You
different if
support
you're
who
going to
you
be an
want to
asshole
support.
about it.
You
Yeah.
support who you want to support.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And
different. Like, if you don't need to support me, but if you're going to be like, start talking bad about me and then doing all this like foul stuff and like, that's that, like, it's not, you don't have to like my stuff, but you don't got to take things to that level just to speak bad. Like,
like they'll lowball you.
yeah, like, and then when you see me, oh, hey, best friends and compliment me and everything, and that's cool, right? But it is what it is, and yeah, so like, yeah, man, just like with everybody that has a dream, whatever, anything artistic, whether it's painting, whether it's public speaking, whether it's acting, whatever it may be, just strive. What's the worst? The worst thing that you can live with is not taking a chance for something, doing something that you love.
Right.
Like, you gotta make that. There's a risk for everything. But if you really, really, really want it, go for it. There's nothing that's gonna stop you. And that's why I'm gonna drop an album, my first album, like an album. I have a mixtape album, but I'm gonna drop an album called Just Hear Me Out. Just hear me out. Like I'm doing right now. Just hear
Just
me
hear
out.
me out. Nice.
Yeah,
Do we
yeah.
got a release date? Are we looking?
No, no,
Not yet. Not yet.
no. I'm still in the works.
You got a
I'm still in the
goal
works.
next year?
No, it's gonna be this year, the 20th anniversary of my
Hey,
accident.
yeah. Reach out. Maybe I'll jump on the album with you, man. I be rapping. I be rapping too, right?
That's good. That's dope. That's
Did you know
dope.
that?
No, I didn't know that.
Bro, I've been a rapper since like 1998.
Good for you,
I'm a
man.
legend. I'm a
That's
legend, an underground legend. But a lot of people know of me.
good
But
for you.
if you're from Rexdale, you definitely know of me about my hip hop career.
Okay,
100%.
that's cool. That's
Um,
cool.
because maybe not the younger generation. Maybe they because I'm getting a little washed out from them.
you
But
know?
a lot of the OGs, you know what I mean? They definitely, the OGs definitely know who I am when it comes to the music and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, and so I would be more than happy to jump on your album. I need to cut you off, but
Yeah,
listen,
man.
MC, MC Heavy, let everybody know where they can find you. Um, your social media platforms
Mhm.
and everything like that, and yeah.
Yeah. Like you have over here, MC Heavy, one word. That's my TikTok, which I gotta push more because I'm like, I'm not so good with, so I'm good with Instagram, but besides that, TikTok, and I know TikTok's really big, but it's all under MC Heavy. But as for my music on all streaming platforms, that's Heavy Steve, like Heavy and Steve. My name's Steven, but Steve. So yeah, and I have my program, One Heavy Dream, Creative Entertainment Arts, and that's another thing. Mixing entertainment with education is the greatest way to engage with any kind of crowd
Mhm.
because you got connected with them and they're in tune. So yeah, like I said, Heavy Steve. My name's Steven Rafael Gomez Salguero, also known as Heavy Steve. You can find me on all streaming platforms under MC Heavy. And yeah, and like I said, thanks a lot, dude, man. It was been a blessing and everything for having me. I'm looking forward to come checking by. Like even if I'm not gonna be here like on camera, I would love to just be in the background, leaving comments and seeing what you're doing. And like I said, I will push this. I'll repost stuff
Thank you, man.
once you have things out just to promote it and so like that, man. So
Thank you. I
just
appreciate it, man. We need all the support. We need all the
yeah,
support.
yeah.
And also, people, anybody that's watching, if you want to donate to our show, please donate to mtvcanada at gmail.com. You can see the email address there
Mhm.
below. Pause. Anyways, Heavy Steve, thank you so much for coming in. Thank you so much for visiting Therapy Hub. Please, yes, join our sessions anytime. We got like wonderful topics, compelling topics, but it was a pleasure having you, bro. Thank you so
Man,
much.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me, man. Just it's been a blessing, and just keep doing what you're doing. It's dope, man. I never knew that you were doing this, so just
Yeah,
to see it,
we just started the platform about 2 months. It's been about 2 months since we started the streaming platform, but
oh,
the channel's been going on for a couple of years. But throughout the couple of years, I was in the process where we were in the process of rebuilding and you know, to getting it to this point. But now we're crash and burn, baby. So let's
yeah.
go.
So that's good, man. Like I said,
Yeah,
congratulations.
thank
I'm
you.
gonna promote your stuff, man. That's good. It's an honor just to see how much you've progressed with everything that you do. So
Thank you.
keep hustling, keep doing your thing, keep fulfilling all your goals. Congratulations on the children that you have.
Thank you.
So, like, just keep doing
Great.
your thing and never
Humbly
give up.
accept.
And just like I said, I'm gonna be here to support. And when does this happen? What days does this
Every
happen?
Thursday is for live Therapy Hub every Thursday at 8 p.m. And then
Okay.
we have every Monday at 6 p.m. for like a breakdown. That's like my news breakdown. And I kind of like recap this session. So next Monday, so tap into that. But that's a
Mhm.
pre-recording. But
Yeah,
you can comment and stuff. And what I do is
yeah,
I kind of like recap from, so I'll recap this session. Definitely.
yeah, yeah, man.
There.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Thanks a lot. Like I said, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate you,
And
brother,
keep doing your
man.
stuff, man.
Yeah, we're gonna connect, man, and we're gonna do some music together. Absolutely.
Mhm.
One love, one love, one love. Peace, bro. All right. There you have it. Your boy MC Heavy Steve. A good friend of mine. It's been a while since I've seen him or heard from him. And I met Steve with Think Twice. Think Twice was a is a nonprofit organization ran by Zia Brown. Shot her out, and the whole Think Twice organization. Everybody out there, enough respect. And she was one of the reasons why, or that she's one of the reasons, or one of the people that helped me with my journey and changing my life around, and are with assisting with things to help me while I was changing my life around. And she did a really good job. And I met Steve uh, at 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 a play that we were doing for her. called Dying to Live. It's a very good play. I hope they bring it back. I think after COVID, they kind of had to stop doing it because they were going out to different theaters and doing it. I remember I went and watched the second part of the play because, like I said, with Heavy, we were in the first piece of it, and so I guess the second piece they changed some cast members. I kind of left as well, and I kind of died in my scene. I got killed anyways, so my scene was over. I got shot and got killed. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was a good play, man, and I want to see it again. I want to see a movie. And Z, if you're watching this, you know that I'm producing, and you know what always going through my brain? Movie. Get at me. Dying to Live movie. That would be crazy heavy. If you agree, let me know. Drop it in the comments. But yeah, let me know, man, what you guys think about today's episode, today's live. Thank you everybody who tapped in, everybody who was in our comments, our guest Heavy. Thank you so much once again for coming in. And make sure everybody you tap in every single Thursday at 8 p.m. and also every Monday at 6 p.m. for my solo therapy hub sessions and recaps. All right. I want to say a big shout out to our sponsors. I want to shout out to first, I want to say shout out to Sutan Jewelers. Okay, we buy and sell gold. That's what we do, and you can come see them. All right, at 1408, or you can go see them at 1408 Gerrard Street East, and that's in Little India Bazaar here in Toronto. Once again, Sutan Jewelers. We buy and sell gold. So if you're trying to get some gold sold, if you got some gold that you're trying to get rid of to make some extra cash, because we know times are hard and sometimes, we be behind in bills and we be buying too much unnecessary things. Sometimes we got too much jewelry. I know people that got like 10 chains. Like, I think that's too much. You know what I mean? Sell one. And when you want to, make sure you head out to Sutan Jewelers because he has the best prices in the city and he will hook you up, especially if you tell him that AmTV sent you. 1408 Gerrard Street East, all right? In Little India. Also, I want to shout out to my boy Marlon Mortgage, who has his hub. He has his center, and it's for at-risk communities, as that's who he serves. And you can find him at www.themortgagefoundation.ca. And when you go on his website, you'll see programs and different type of opportunities and things that he has for community members, for youth, and even for adults who are looking for volunteering. You can go on his website and check him out. All right, it's a beautiful, beautiful center. I went there on the for the documentary, so it will be on the documentary, and you'll get to see a little bit of what he does at his center. Okay, but I think that will sum it off. That will summarize it for the night. I want to shout out my main sponsor. I'm so sorry. My boy Lost and Found. How can I do that? How can I do that? How can I do that? How can I not shout out my boy Lost and Found? I'll tell you this. You need gear? You need real quality gear. And I'm talking about curated retro gear. I'm talking about unique brands. I'm talking about all different types of collections. But the most important thing is that he does limited drops. You know what that means? That means everything he does is limited. So if you like it and you see it, you got to get it. Because if you don't, someone else is going to get it and they're going to be rocking your swag. You don't want nobody rocking your swag. All right? So make sure you get those limited drops right away. My boy Shaz at Lost and Found Shop X, he's the man. He'll hook you up. Tell him that Daroo from AmTV sent you, and he'll be sure to give you a discount. And if you don't know how to get a hold of him, or if you cannot see him or find him on Instagram, all you got to do is just scan this QR code. All right, right here in the back of me. You see that banner and that QR code? All you got to do is scan it, and you will get right into his site. All right? You'll go on his TikTok, or you'll get right into his page, and you can shop on his pages as well. So you'll get his TikTok and his Instagram. All right? So shout out Lost and Found. But I'm out of here. We've been here for an hour and 20 minutes. It's been a long session. Remember to use your self-therapy, everybody. Remember, pick something that you want or that you like to do, a hobby, and use that as a self-therapy tool. So if you're stressed or if there's anything that you're, that you need to get off your chest, or you just need to vent, or, and you don't have anybody to talk to at that particular time, because people get busy. Find an activity. My friend always tells me, go for walks. She said, you like reading, so read more. So I tend to do that as well too. All right. But for me, the punching bag with the boxing gloves and my push-up bars is what I'm doing right now. I'm getting pretty, I'm looking all right now, as you see. I don't want to have to, I don't want to have to, I don't have to show nobody too much. You know what I'm saying? But your boy looking good. Your boy looking good. All right. Peace and love, everybody. Have a safe night, and have a good weekend. And we'll see y'all Monday. One. Peace and love.